Okay, this is phase one of the Mack DM-800. We're doing the stars and stripes. It's a hard scheme to do, depending, but this is just phase one. This is just your basic. Get the exterior paint and get the stripes on, and do the interior. Try to highlight little Mack details, such as those little vents on the heater box and the floor, the bulldogs on the seats. Kind of do a little something cool. There's some red, white, and blue seats in there. So I can turn this pretty sparse, the Mack cabs. I love mine black. They're usually green, mint green. Back in the day, it was like you could get any Mack you want, but the interiors were always mint green. I thought I'd do a little something different. And the floor mat, down here, let me spin it around so you can see the floor mat. I kind of did it in the red, white, and blue scheme as well. There it is, right there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but all this is hand painted. Of course, it's going to get a coat to dull it down, dull the sheen down. Then the instruments, picked out all the dials and gauges and numbers best I could. Not a whole lot of relief detail to work with on these, but yeah, it is what it is on these. They're old kits, old molds. Great kit though. NPC first came out with this before Earl even thought about it. I got the stripes down the fenders. One thing about it, I had to redo the hoods. Here's the hood panels. This is a redone-ish version. What happened was, up here, to do these, a lot of people paint these white. You don't paint them white, you paint them overall red. Well, I did something because I thought it was going to be inexpensive to do this. So I went and did the worst thing a modeler can ever do. I bought Krylon paint, painted it red, and then I used Duplicolor Automotive Blue. That was a bad mistake, because this whole blue area, once it hit that red, it was terrible. I had to dump both these in purple power and strip them all down. And then right across here, I had to do a separate paint for the red. Because I already had the cab. The cab wasn't too bad. It did get a couple of areas, but it didn't do too bad. So I figured instead of stripping the whole thing, I'll save the cab. But to match the colors, I had to use the same color because it's a really off red. So it was quite a chore. So note to self, Krylon paint does not do well with other paints when you try to mask it and paint over it. Didn't really care for the stripe, because if you follow the lines, you notice that little slant. Actually, technically, it's supposed to be a white. If you look at the real trucks, and then you're supposed to have a wedge in there. To follow the lines to match the grill. And I found with the decals on this, the revised decals, these to match the lines on the cab, they're not gonna really match up with the grill. So I'm gonna have to do some finesse on it. I'll figure it out. But here's the raw chassis. I'm going to strip this chassis down and paint it white. All these anniversary Macks had white chassis. I hear people say, oh, they had red. No, coming out of the factory. I live right by the factory right now. All these anniversary Macks, when they came out of the factory, they had white chassis. The rims, okay. They had a blue rim, and then the red inner, and then you had a white ring. Some of them did have a white rim with a red ring, red, white, and blue. I've seen them both ways. But as far as the chassis, the fuel tanks, battery, all that stuff like that, it was all white. These were primarily for their construction, but they did do all their models, the F models, the R models, the U models, all the DM models. They did do one fire truck. they did a compact, the Mack compact, but I think they only did a handful of those, and they wound up going Southwest. But anyhow, this is what we got so far, you know, and I'll keep you abreast, but I'll tell you right now, when you go to do this paint job, right in here, you got to use Tamiya paint. I use the masking tape. The vinyl tape is good, but it lifts. It doesn't give you enough time to work with it because it does lift in tight areas. It does curves good, but when you got to go into here, places like right in here, not so good. So using Tamiya masking